Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Create Astral Modpack. And man, I have been grinding. I spent about 8 hours building yesterday, so yeah, I definitely cannot wait to show you guys what I did. So I spent some time finishing up the decorations down here in the boiler room. I also decided to hook up all the pipes up to each of the blaze burners, and that seems to be working a lot better. And yeah, I did actually end up putting 9 more on the side. I don't remember which side was the one that I added, but yeah, so we have 18 cauldrons in total, and it seems to be keeping up pretty well. Occasionally they will dip down to 0, but they pretty much come back right away, so it's really not that big of an issue. I didn't really decorate these parts behind here because you can't really see it from above. But yeah, let me show you guys the grand tour. So the first thing you'll notice is that there is a door on the base now, and if you just step on the pressure plates, the door will actually go down, and a little bit of spoilers right there. And the way that this door works is actually pretty simple. I just have some water wheels down here running off of a rotation speed controller, and the speed controller goes into a gear shift, and every time it receives a redstone signal, it'll actually reverse the direction that the piston is going in. And I don't know if we've talked about sticky mechanical pistons yet, but yeah, basically they can grab blocks and move them. And then yeah, how we're getting the power to this is pretty easy. We just have redstone wire here. And yeah, whenever you step on the pressure plate, it'll send a signal down and flip this lever. And yeah, if you press on it again, obviously it'll close back up. And yeah, here is the sort of entrance room to the castle. There's a lot to talk about here. First off, I moved the portal down over here. I also built these sort of staircases and like a balcony area that goes up and around. These actually, they lead to basically big empty spaces that we can expand to later on if we need to. So yeah, we'll bust a hole in each of the walls as we need them. You might also notice that I have a painting up over there. Not a whole lot to talk about there. It's just a painting from Astral, and it's the sun. And just opposite of the portal, I have all of my workbenches set up here. I did actually end up making a carpenter's workbench and the philosopher's workbench. The philosopher's is just to make the glowstone lanterns, and the carpenter's workbench is how I made the door, which is damaged spruce logs. And yeah, it gives kind of a cool stripy color to the door. So moving on, here's a small hallway and an enderman. This hallway leads into what I'm gonna call the workshop. It's just sort of a central area that has all of our machines set up, and I did actually go ahead and set up all of our manual machines. So we have our mixer here, the press, and the millstone all set up, as well as the rolling mill. I also have a smelting system back in this corner, sort of tucked away. So you put items in the top and they come out at the bottom. And if you put logs here, it'll actually convert those into charcoal from this iron furnace here. And then they'll get stored here and passed along to 2 different iron furnaces. That way we can just double our processing speed. And yeah, off to the sides in each direction, so this way and that way, is where we'll actually have all of the machines that we've already built, as well as any additional machines that we can possibly build in the future. And once this area gets filled up, we're going to head further back into the mountain. And over in this area, I just went ahead and moved over all of my chests from the old base. So yeah, we have pretty much all of our items in the new area. And I actually did this in preparation for today's episode, because I actually want to get started on applied energistics to actually get a storage system set up. And if you saw this earlier, I just have a sign here that says AE2 storage. This is basically where we'll have our crafting interface set up. And then I'll leave the regular crafting table here as well, just because the quest log doesn't really like it when you use different types of crafting tables to actually craft things. And I don't think there's really a whole lot else to show you guys. It was just a lot of work and building walls and sort of planning things out. I do really like the ceiling pattern I went for here. And this whole room in general I really like because it sort of combines all of the elements of the pack, I think, really nicely. So it has a bit of a like NASA punk feel, bit of a steampunk feel, and a little bit of like the classic Minecraft medieval style. So yeah, I think it blends everything pretty well together. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, we do actually have the chapter 3.5, and that's actually how I'm going to be sort of going through and making all of the applied energistic stuff. It has been a really long time since I've actually used applied energistics. I usually use refined storage, so yeah, this might be a little bit a little bit of a trip down memory lane. So I think what we want to do first is actually get started working towards the inscriber, and that should allow us to actually make different things here. So that'll actually allow us to make our silicon presses, our printed silicon, the silicon press, etc., etc. Basically everything that we need to actually make the different parts of applied energistics. The recipe for the inscriber is pretty basic, as it only requires a basic machine frame, which I'm pretty sure that we've found a few of on the moon while exploring. Alright, so we should just have to throw that into the stone cutter and pull out our inscriber. Now I'm pretty sure this is going to require power, but I don't know if it's changed in this pack or not, so I think I'm just going to place the block down and see. So if you look at the tooltip, it does say that it requires 800 E. So yeah, we're probably going to have to step into sort of the power stages first, which I believe is available in the previous chapter. Here we go. And yeah, we'll just have to make an alternator, which it seems pretty complicated, but overall I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's just going to be a lot of making sheets, it looks like. And actually, one thing that we're gonna need is to make integrated circuits. And yeah, this is gonna be a whole other machine that we need to make. So we need to pour molten silver over a lapis sheet, then deploy copper wires twice, and then finally press it, and that'll have to go through 6 different times. So I think this is probably gonna be the first actual machine that we make inside of the new base. And yeah, I'm still pretty disorganized here. I pretty much just moved over all of the chests that I already had in the same order, so yeah, everything is disorganized, which is really going to be... Which, yeah, the applied energistic system will really help to actually make this... a little bit more organized. So just to kind of show you guys an example of how I want this to actually end up looking, and I might eventually replace the rough deep slate here with glass, but this is just kind of to show. Basically, we're only going to have our inputs and output on the front, and then all of the machine is going to be just behind here, and that should look a little bit neater. And because of the crude storage units, we should have an easier time telling where everything goes. So for this, we're going to have to import blocks of lapis into there. Then we'll have it press. We're also going to need to smelt down silver and then deploy copper wires twice, press it down, and then we'll actually get our circuit, our integrated circuit. And I'm debating to see if this will fit in a 3x3. I really don't know yet, but yeah, it might actually end up looking a little bit better as a 3x3. All right, so I think in terms of layout, this is what I'm gonna want. I am gonna move this chest over one. So we're gonna have to take 5 actions, which perfectly fits in this little area here. So we can actually have our belt set up like this. I am gonna need another one. But yeah, so we'll have a press here. Then we'll have the spout here pouring the silver. We'll have 2 deployers with copper wires here. And then the last one is another press. So yeah, basically all of the inputs should line up pretty well. can't remember if I said this or not, but I moved these up by one just to make sure everything's in line, because yeah, this is actually going to be a few blocks up above, and I don't know if I actually need it for the copper wire, but we're definitely going to need it for the silver. All right, I think that's going to be everything that we need for this machine. All that's left really is just to make the, or just to hook up the power. I tried to get away with only having to use a faucet for the spout here, but unfortunately it really didn't fit in with the design that I was going for. So I'm just using a mechanical pump instead, which it should do fine. It's just a little bit more work that we're going to have to work around. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hook everything up to the power. And by the way, we do have power running from the steam engines just right here. And yeah, we'll just transfer that over here, and hopefully that'll get the machine running. And actually, I completely forgot a step in this. And basically, we're gonna need to run this through a few more times. So yeah, I think what I want to do is get a vault set up maybe. And we might need to rearrange things here just a little bit. But basically, I want to use the vault as a sort of filter for this system. And shout out to Chosen Architect, by the way, for this design. I have been watching his videos recently, just sort of catching up on it. Trying to stay a little bit farther behind where I am, though, currently. But the vault design should allow us to filter these items down a little bit and allow it to cycle back through a few times. So for this, we're actually going to need some brass funnels, and that'll actually allow us to start filtering things, which, yeah, that's definitely going to be super helpful for us, so might as well start working on them now. And yeah, this is kind of how I have it set up right now. I don't know if this is how it's going to be permanently done here, so basically it's going to run through all the processes, and somehow I'm going to need it to get all the way back over here to this spout. Haven't really figured that part out yet. Yeah, this is it's getting a little complicated. So basically we're going to have it enter the vault if it's not complete yet, and then it'll cycle back through. And then if it is complete, it'll run on this belt and go through the crude storage unit. And I think this is probably going to be our best way to do this. So I just hooked the item vault in the center. And yeah, so it'll pull out in any of the incomplete ones. It'll cycle through, and if it's incomplete, it'll bring it back into the item vault. Otherwise, it'll just let it pass back through. Obviously, this is a little untested, so yeah, hopefully this works. Okay, I think in terms of power and layout, I think it's done. It is a little bit messy with some extra belts here and there for the power and stuff, but I think in terms of actually, you know, getting this thing done and planned out, it's pretty much done. So I'm just gonna manually give these guys the copper wires for now, and then I will also go ahead and set this up to output on the back, just like that. So that should start smelting the silver. And by the way, we'll also output this on the back. So that gets pressed down into a sheet. Yep, and it's going pretty fast already. Now this funnel did actually bring it in, and perfect, it did actually take it out again. I am gonna grab this guy though. And yep, okay, so basically we may need to apply a filter, an attribute filter. I don't know which one of these we're going to need, actually, because we are going to need to actually take into consideration the NBT data. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the attribute filter, and I'm going to throw in the lapis sheet. And yeah, I don't remember exactly. Here we go. It's added by create, is in group. Okay, so I don't think that the attribute filter is what we need. I think we just need the regular filter. So yeah, if we put this in the filter, and we're gonna say this is gonna be the one for the input. I guess we only need one in total, but yeah, so I think it's fine to ignore the data because the product is a completely different item. So yeah, I think this is what we're going to want. And all we really need to do is place that there. And I think that's going to be done. And honestly, this one really doesn't need to be a brass one, but oh well, it's fine. So now if I throw this back through, should go again, although I do need to do this. But yeah, if I throw you right there, it should go inside and recycle through. And so now I'll just make a few more copper wires and yeah, let that complete. And then yeah, we'll come back and show the completed process. Okay, and as you can see, the integrated circuit is now done, and we have that in our inventory now. And it didn't go back into the vault, which is really good. And so now all I need to do is place that there and make sure that the input is auto-inputting on the back. And I'm just going to pull this out just to double check that it is working now. We'll go like that. And yep, it goes inside. So that is one of the parts that we needed for the alternator. There's still a few more parts here that we're going to need. And we do actually only need one integrated circuit. And yeah, the rest is pretty easy, it looks like. I just want to double check though. Now we haven't made the standard machine casing before. Let's see what that looks. Okay, so we are going to need a couple more integrated circuits for that, but I think we have lead plates just from exploration. It looks like we can also use silver or iron, so yeah, that's not going to be too bad. Yeah, I'll just make a few more integrated circuits, and then yeah, we can come back when we finish crafting the alternator. All right, and that is the alternator done. So now we've basically entered the electricity stage. From here, we can actually start making some of these smaller Tech Reborn machines instead of using like larger crate machines. And in order to actually move the power around, we're going to need to make a few of these copper connectors, which really isn't too bad, just a ball of slime, a copper rod, and a couple of andesite alloy. And currently I really don't have a lot of slime, so yeah, what I could do is go to the farm, harvest some wheat, turn that into dough, etc., but I think what I want to do is actually explore one of these slime islands, and I know there's one right there, so I'm gonna go out and head towards it, and yeah. Yep, and you can already see the slimes jumping off of the island, so yeah, I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of time here just killing a few slimes and yeah, seeing how many we can actually harvest. And he's just a little bit out of reach. Okay, this is potentially dangerous. Forgot that they can knock you off, but yeah, we're actually collecting a good bit of slime, and this is going to be a lot faster than yeah, doing it the way with crate. And we can actually also harvest the congealed slime here, and that'll actually convert directly into slime balls, so you don't need to actually kill the slimes. And I'm not actually sure if the sky slime will work for this. It probably will, but yeah, I'll definitely collect as much of the green slime as I can as well. All right, and now we can go ahead and craft up a couple of these copper connectors. And I'll also just craft a copper spool just so that we can complete this task. And since we're starting to get into the technology stages, I think it might be a good idea to start automating some of these parts, especially the copper wires, because yeah, we're definitely starting to use quite a lot of them. And by the way, thank you to Tykers9294 for telling me that you can actually put additional steam engines on the fluid tanks here, and if your steam engine is actually able to produce more than, I believe it's 16,000 stress units, he said, you can put another steam engine on there and it'll actually produce more without costing anything else. So technically we're now producing 128,000 stress units in total, which is absolutely crazy. And I'm not really sure, we can probably do more even, but yeah, at least for now, this is more than enough. Definitely more than we're going to need for now. Okay, and now we can go ahead and complete that quest. And it actually gives us the Tech Reborn manual, which should actually allow us to take a look at some of the Tech Reborn things. Or maybe not. Okay. I have no idea what just happened. It turned into a book. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we're not supposed to be able to look at the Tech Reborn stuff. But yeah, if you want to craft it back up again, you can just craft a book and silver plate together. I believe it actually only just takes you to the wiki for Tech Reborn. It has been a while since I played with Tech Reborn, but I'm pretty sure that that's all that that book does. So yeah, if we go ahead and combine these again. Yeah, if we click that, it'll actually open up a new tab and take you to the Wikipedia. But we don't need no Wikipedia around here. We just test things out and yeah, we fail. But sometimes we succeed too. So we are approaching the end of the episode, but I do actually want to get the alternator actually set up and sort of see how it operates. So basically what it's going to do is convert our stress units, our rotational power, into electricity, and specifically it's going to generate Fe. So now if we use the copper connectors and we put down our inscriber, for example, I think I'm going to move it over one maybe. I don't know if it requires a certain side to be powered, but I'm just going to put it on the side for now. So we put a connector on the inscriber and connect those via a wire, just like that. And that should actually start charging, which it looks like it is. Cool. So now I think... So if we smelt up some Certus quartz dust, that'll actually turn into silicon. And then what we can do is put that inside of the inscriber, I believe, somewhere. And I believe we actually need to put the press in first, then we can put the silicon in, and that'll start going, and that will actually produce our first printed silicon, which gets us so much closer to actually being able to make an applied energistic storage system. Unfortunately though, that is all the time we have for today. So in the next episode, we will actually go ahead and set up everything that we need for the AE2 system and actually get everything all organized. I think in between episodes, I'm going to go ahead and actually move all of the machines that we've already made over there and bring them into, yeah, the new place over here and trying to figure out exactly where I want everything. That'll probably take the most amount of time to actually decide where everything goes. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.